Oh, shut up, young lady. Shut up. Shut up.
Sorry.
This is the house of a pastor. And this is my handsome son who will soon be a pastor. He cannot stoop so low as to sleep with a cheap slut like you.
Sir?
Yes?
Ask him. She ain't dey here. Ask her if I dey lie. I dey lie.
Richard and his friend Louis went to the club and met a strange lady for a one-night stand. Richard woke up in a hotel shock and wondering what happened the previous night. Richard went home, called his friend Louis to ask what happened. Louis told him that he made out with a hooker they met at the club. Richard was angry at his friend for allowing that happen to him, know that he was drunk. Now Richard was preparing himself to be a pastor in his father's church. Sir Chris, who is the father of Richard and a pastor, the church gets into a serious preparation to ordain his son Richard as a pastor. Richard and his father were in the hall making plan, and they are a visitor. Lucy presented herself as the lady Richard slept with a couple of months ago. Sir Chris couldn't believe it and started to have altercations with Lucy. Lucy had to remind Richard of everything, and he finally accepted to doing it. Richard agreed to meeting Lucy and having something to do with her. But Richard was not sure if that pregnancy was his because Lucy is a hooker. Lucy made it known to them that he was the only one that slept with her without protection. So if they don't believe after birth, they can throw her out of the house. Lucy told them she has come to stay in the house and she has not way to go at the moment. Sir Chris was not having any of this conversation and he was angry at Richard. Richard has no power to decide because he was living under his father's roof. And Lucy has made it known that she has come to stay. They pleaded with her to leave because of their pastoral status, but Lucy refused. Sir Chris finally agreed for her to stay in the house only on condition that after birth, if the child is not for Richard, she will have to leave their lives forever. And also she will be under the control of the security in the house, meaning she'll not have the freedom to move out and come in whenever she wants. Sir Chris and Richard took Lucy in. Lucy was her usual self, wearing all the inappropriate dresses and doing this that are not acceptable in the house. Richard called Louis and they went for lunch. He was explaining how his life is turning upside down. Richard started blaming Louis for everything, but Louis did not want to be the one to be blamed. They both disagreed to later agreeing to everything. Richard got home and saw playing loud and vulgar music, and Sir Chris got home as well and heard the music playing. Sir Chris got angry, tries to push Lucy out of the house. Richard had to talk to his father to stop and that the church might to hear this, the safe place in their house. They later resolved that and warm Lucy. Some days as they do morning devotions, Lucy comes but Sir Chris leaves. He doesn't want to have anything to do with her. One day some church members came to the house to visit the past and have some meetings. Before they came, Sir Chris locked Lucy in her room and hid the key. Whilst the meet was going on, Lucy started making noise that she wants to drink water. The church members heard the noise, but Sir Chris convinced them it was just a noise from their next house. When the church members left, they discussed in the car that they think their pastor is hiding something from them and the church, and they did not believe anything Sir Chris was telling them. Few months later, Lucy gave birth to a boy and they did DNA test. It was confirmed the child belongs to Richard. Now it's either they announce to the church about the situation or get married to Lucy before Richard can be ordained. After few days, Richard told his father that they can tell Lucy they will take the child from her and she can go away. They approached Lucy about this decision and Lucy refused. Lucy told them she is never going to give her child to them. Neither is she leaving the house without her child. Her will grow with her and no one is going to take away her child. Richard also cannot risk his pastoral position for this situation. Richard and Sir Chris decided to pay Lucy off, but surprisingly, Lucy refused to take the money. She left with her child and told them never to contact her or look for the child. She told them she is ashamed them as pastors to behave like that. If they choose to deny their son there is no need taking that mommy from them. Lucy took her bag and left the house. A month later, Richard was a pastor and he met his friend Louis. Richard asked his friend whether he has heard of Lucy or knows where she is. Louis was shocked why Richard wants to know. Because he denied the child and the girl, Richard told him he just wants to know if they are okay wherever they are. Louis promised to ask around and get back to him. A couple of days later, Louis called Richard and gave him the address of Lucy. Next day, Richard went to the location and saw that Lucy has a provision store. Richard are not bold enough to approach her. He continues to visit and stays in his car for days. One day, Richard told his father that he wants to get his son back and he thinks he like Lucy. Sir Chris was shocked with what Richard was saying and he disagrees with him. This was because Lucy was a prostitute and is not good for their reputation and for the church. Well, the discussion did not go well because Richard insisted on going after Lucy. Richard got the courage and he visited Lucy. Lucy did not want to accept him initially, but she changed her mind. Lucy gave him a sit and Richard started apologizing for everything and explained why he did what he did to her. Lucy also explained to him that she is now a changed person and that the child changed her. She is no more into the prostitute business and she is managing the ship from the money she saved over the years. Lucy went on further to explain why she refused to leave her child behind. Lucy told Richard that her parents abandoned her and she was sent to the orphanage. She was adopted but was abused by the man and she ran away. That's how come she ended being a prostitute, so he vowed that she will never abandon her child for anyone, no matter the circumstances. Richard was happy they were able to move past everything and are friends again. Richard started visiting Lucy and was helping her at the shop and caring for their baby. Richard one day confessed his feelings to Lucy, and she also told him he loves him too. They started dating on the low. Richard then took the bold step and told his father that he found Lucy and his son and they have been dating for a while. So he plans to make it official to the church. Sir Chris was not happy about this whole development. Richard started quoting the Bible and that Jesus came for dinner to the righteous. Sir Chris saw he was just being too difficult and the church will understand after all. They are all human beings. Richard also told his father about Lucy's new shop business and how she is a changed person now. Moment into that good conversation, Lucy came into the house with the child. This time she looks really good and well dressed. Sir Chris was welcoming this time around. Lucy apologized for everything she might have caused between them. Sir Chris also apologizes to Lucy about how he treated her and he asked for forgiveness. Sir Chris planned to announce their engagement to the church on Sunday. Lucy is now welcome into the family. Sir Chris gave her a hug and asked of the baby name. They all hug as one big happy family. Thanks for watching this recap. This channel brings you the best Nollywood movies. We save you time and money. Don't forget to subscribe and like our videos for more movie recap.
No, Adela, true now, Adela.
Nelson, do you know this pregnant lady here?
Oga, see, my name na Lucy. And this belly way you see for here. Now the results of waiting happened that night. No, now that thing.
Now shut up, young lady. You shut up and you listen. It is people like you that go about trying to